Here's the one thing that most people I feel are missing in their presentations or pitches, and it's probably not what you think it is. And so I'm going to share with you a little story that I told yesterday during a training for a global company who was also struggling with something very similar. Because I knew I was teaching this workshop, I did a little research and I was like, I'm curious if there's anything out there that talks about this missing component. And I found this story about this doctor who was a neuroscientist named Dr. Antonio Damasio, who later went to write a book called Descartes' Error. And he talks about his patient, we'll call him Elliot, who had to have a small tumor removed from his prefrontal cortex. And before the surgery, you would describe Elliot as this incredibly intelligent, very sharp individual. He had sound reasoning, he had sound logic, he got along with people really well. And after the surgery, he was still the same, still very intelligent and sharp, sound logic, sound reasoning. But there was one thing that was different. When he was presented with a decision, so for example, let's just say there were two pens in front of him and he had to decide which one he wanted to use to write with, he couldn't decide. He would spend all day long reasoning and sharing with you the details and why one might logically choose one over the other, or the weight of the pen or the ink quality. He'd get very granular, but he could not tell you which one he would want to write with. He couldn't decide. And so what Damasio discovered was that he lost his ability to feel. He no longer could communicate or understand emotion, and that picking a pen, even though it's just a small choice, you had to use your entire brain. And in that was the emotional decision, this one, I want to write with this one. And so it's that little tiny piece that most of you are missing in your presentations, is the emotional connection, helping the client or the opportunity, the prospective opportunity, feel something, whether that be through story or empathy and acknowledging their experience. So whether you are presenting something technical or you're standing on stage and delivering a keynote for the first time, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of the audience and ask the question, am I incorporating emotion? Because emotion is that mechanism that will ultimately drive the decision. So if you have that and your competitor does not, you win.